Can I tell you one of the biggest mistakes people make in relationships? And honestly, most people don't even realize they're doing it. They think the relationship is fading because of bad communication or timing or stress. But sometimes, the real reason someone starts losing interest is because the relationship slowly stops feeling real. And what causes that? Trying too hard to keep the other person. I know that sounds backwards, because when you care about someone, your instinct is to hold on tighter, to text more, to over-explain, to fix every little shift in energy before it becomes distance. But that energy can quietly change the dynamic, because there's a difference between loving someone and slowly abandoning yourself to keep them. And people feel that difference. At first, it usually starts small. You meet someone you really like. There's chemistry, attention, excitement. You feel connected, so naturally you want it to continue. But then something changes. Maybe they become a little distant. Maybe their energy shifts. Maybe they stop showing the same level of effort. And instead of stepping back to observe it calmly, you panic internally. Not always visibly, but emotionally. You start overthinking. You reread messages. You notice the small changes. And now, instead of enjoying the connection, you're trying to secure it. That's where the mistake begins. Because the moment your focus becomes, how do I stop them from losing interest, you stop showing up naturally. Now you're performing. You start saying yes to things you don't really want. You become overly available. You stop expressing what bothers you because you don't want conflict. You slowly shape yourself around keeping the relationship comfortable. And at first, it seems harmless. But over time, something important disappears. Your authenticity. And this is what most people don't understand. Attraction isn't just built on attention. It's built on emotional honesty, confidence, a sense that the other person has their own center. The moment someone feels like your entire emotional stability depends on them, the energy changes. Not because they're evil, not because they never cared, but because pressure changes attraction. When someone feels responsible for constantly reassuring you, constantly proving their feelings, constantly managing your anxiety, the relationship starts feeling heavy. And let me be clear, wanting reassurance is normal. Wanting effort is normal. Wanting consistency is healthy. That's not the issue. The issue is when fear starts controlling how you show up. Because fear makes people abandon themselves. And once that happens, the relationship stops feeling balanced. You stop asking, do I actually feel good here? And start asking, how do I make them stay? That shift changes everything. Because now you're no longer connecting. You're seeking validation. You're watching their reactions too closely, adjusting your behavior constantly, trying to avoid anything that might create distance. And ironically, that's usually what creates it. You know what keeps attraction alive? Feeling like two whole people are choosing each other, not one person trying to earn the other. And people can sense when you stop choosing yourself. They can feel when your boundaries disappear, when your personality becomes filtered, when your self-respect starts bending just to maintain closeness. At first, they may enjoy the attention, but over time, they stop feeling the same spark. Because real connection needs tension, not anxiety. It needs honesty, not performance. And this is where a lot of relationships quietly fall apart. Not because there wasn't love, but because one person became so focused on not losing the relationship that they lost themselves inside it. And the scary part, a lot of people think that's what love is supposed to look like. Constantly proving yourself, constantly adapting, constantly trying to be enough for someone. But that's not love. That's fear wearing the mask of love. Real love doesn't require you to shrink. It doesn't require you to monitor every text, every mood shift, every silence. You're allowed to have standards. You're allowed to express discomfort. You're allowed to exist as a full person inside the relationship. And the right person won't lose interest because you're honest about your needs. In fact, honesty creates safety. What pushes people away is emotional dependency disguised as devotion. It's when the relationship becomes your entire identity. Because now there's no space to breathe, no mystery, no individuality, no balance, just pressure. And pressure makes people pull away. So if you feel someone becoming distant, don't immediately chase harder. Pause. Pay attention to how you've been showing up lately. Have you still been yourself lately, or have you been managing the relationship like it's something constantly about to break? Because people don't lose interest instantly from one mistake. They lose interest when the connection stops feeling genuine, when attraction gets replaced by emotional management. When one person is no longer relating naturally, they're just trying not to be abandoned. And honestly, the strongest thing you can do in a relationship is stay connected to yourself while loving someone else, not controlling them, not chasing them, not losing your identity trying to keep them close. Because the healthiest relationships happen when two people choose each other freely, not when one person is constantly afraid the other will leave. And once you understand that, you stop trying to force love to stay, and you start creating the kind of connection that never had to be forced in the first place.